Pride service, which we have done every year for so many years since the beginning of CBST's existence in 1973, brings us to a very special guest speaker tonight. Lambda Legal, by the way, is, along with CBST, one of the oldest LGBT organizations that still exists in the city, having been incorporated the same year as CBST in 1973. And CBST has a long connection with Lambda. And in fact, I want to ask anybody here at CBST who has served on the board or been on the staff of Lambda to raise your hand. If you can raise your hand, if you've served on the board or on the staff, we have some very significant people: Roz Richter, Suzanne Goldberg, Bill Hibsher, Jane Sherman. We've had a lot of people at CBST over the years, as Lambda has been, of course, one of the preeminent, if not the preeminent, and certainly one of the first legal advocacy organizations on behalf of LGBT rights. So we at CBST have always felt very close to Lambda, and we're thrilled tonight that we are the first major speech by the new CEO of Lambda, who has just recently become the CEO of Lambda, Rachel Tiven, and we're thrilled. She's a longtime friend of CBST's, a long-time relationship with CBST in all different kinds of ways, and she is just appointed in this last month, replacing the retiring Kevin Cathcart, who served as CEO of Lambda for 24 years, I believe, which was a tremendous moment of great legal history. And now we start a new generation, and we're thrilled that it's Rachel Tiven and is speaking here tonight as her first major speech. Rachel is someone we at CBST knows very, very well. She brings a long and strong history of civil rights leadership. And most recently, she has served as the Executive Director of Immigrant Justice, the nation's first fellowship for immigration lawyers. And for 8 years, she ran Immigration Equality, where she helped secure many victories on behalf of LGBT and HIV-positive immigrants and asylum seekers. And we at CBST often turn to her and to that organization for work on the issues ranging that affect our community. Before becoming a lawyer, Rachel worked at Bloomberg Business News and at Lambda as a member of the media team. She received the Columbia Law School Public Interest Award and was named as one of Advocate Magazine's 40 Under 40. We are thrilled and delighted to welcome one of the greatest advocates of the LGBT community, and who I know in these next years will be one of the great leaders of Lambda. I'm thrilled to welcome to our bima, Rachel Tiven.
Thank you, Rabbi Kleinbaum, and thank you to all of the acknowledged and unacknowledged supporters of Lambda over the years. I am truly privileged to stand on the shoulders of giants. This is the 1-year anniversary of nationwide marriage equality. And what's so magnificent isn't just that we won, it's that the whole country celebrated with us. What a contrast to the milestone cases of racial integration that we look back on now, but that were not embraced widely at the time. And it's that our message of love and acceptance of ourselves and of others has been embraced by our fellow Americans, and it is an inspiration to the whole world. One thing that I really love is that over the past few years, straight Americans have stopped identifying themselves as allies, right? They don't wear those straight but not narrow pins anymore, right? They've started simply saying that they care about living in a country that treats people equally. Not just on behalf of you and me, but for themselves as well. And we need them, because there's a lot of work ahead. In 1 year of full marriage equality, more than 200 anti-gay and anti-trans bills have been introduced in states and cities around the country. The people of Houston called a popular referendum to repeal a broad civil rights ordinance. And they did it with a campaign of outright lies about transgender people. And then the lawmakers of North Carolina repeated those lies. Trans and queer and gender nonconforming people are in the bathroom to pee, just like everyone else. And after Orlando, where our people were murdered with military weapons while they hid in the club bathrooms, I don't ever want to hear again that LGBT people in a bathroom are a threat to anybody. We will remain vigilant against those who defame and discriminate against us. And we will hold politicians accountable. With politicians like Congressman Nadler, we will hold those who say that they support LGBT people accountable, because if they really do, they will help us outlaw discrimination. Ending discrimination is what Lambda Legal was founded to do. And as Rabbi Kleinbaum said, we were created 43 years ago, and at the time, our first case was our own. New York State refused to grant us nonprofit status because they said that our mission could not be a charitable purpose. We appealed, and we won. Today, Lambda does 3 key things. We fight for full protection from discrimination at work, at school, in restaurants and hotels and movie theaters and public bathrooms. Within days of the passage of HB 2 in North Carolina, Lambda had filed a lawsuit to stop this discriminatory law. We protect family relationships. Even a year after marriage, Lambda is representing families who still can't get accurate birth certificates or accurate death certificates for their loved ones. Our advocacy for widows and widowers fighting to collect their spouse's Social Security benefits led the Social Security Administration to change its policy. And we protect our most vulnerable: immigrants, elders, youth, people with HIV. When insurance companies in Louisiana tried to kick people with HIV off their rolls, Lambda filed suit and blocked them. Gay people will continue to be born into straight families. Issues that we can't imagine now will need our attention. Lambda Legal has a cradle-to-grave responsibility and commitment to LGBT and HIV-positive people. Today, bogus claims of religious freedom are being used to deny us equal treatment. Religion does not justify discrimination, and it never justifies violence. Within a day of the Orlando attack, Lambda Legal was contacted by Muslim leaders expressing their condolences. 65 different LGBT and Muslim groups, including Lambda, signed on to a unity statement of love and solidarity. LGBT people are Muslim and Jewish and Christian and every other religion and none. LGBT people are not at war with Muslims, but politicians are. And it is our job as American Jews to speak up. The hate speech that separates us from them, that breeds fear and contempt for difference, is as dangerous for LGBT people and Jews as it is for American Muslims. We are hearing leaders and potential leaders of this country say, "I don't like how you look, and I don't like how you dress. I don't understand your customs, and I don't understand your beliefs." And what they mean is, "I don't trust you, and you're not really American." When individuals say these things, it's racism and it's ugly. And when those individuals elect leaders who use the power of the state to enact their racist beliefs, that endangers us all. This week's Parsha is Beha'alotcha. we are deep in the desert, Bamidbar. As the Israelites are preparing for the march from Sinai, God tells Moses to make 2 silver trumpets and use them to summon the community with long and short blasts. This is the origin of the Tekiah and the Truah that we hear on Rosh Hashanah and on Pride. Bamidbar chapter 10, verse 9 says, "When you are at war in your land against an aggressor who attacks you, you shall sound short blasts on the trumpets, that you may be remembered before the Lord your God and be delivered from your enemies." We LGBT people have been at war, not just these last few weeks, but for a long time. The next pasuk says, "And on your joyous occasions, your fixed festivals and the new moon days, you shall sound the trumpets over your burnt offerings and your sacrifices of well-being." We know how to celebrate, and we know how to mourn. This weekend, we will continue to mourn those killed in Orlando and so many other queer and trans people killed in 1s and 2s around the country and around the world. And we will go forth in this weekend of celebration and sound our trumpets with pride. Shabbat Shalom.